All right, welcome back. Crisis Report. It is October 30th, 2024. And we have a possibility of more nuclear testing with the North Korean Icbm. There is major discussion of a ceasefire in the Middle East, but we're not quite sure. Kind of already been... Well, we'll just leave it toward the later reaches of the crisis report. You know, typical another day. We're four, one Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days out from a election. So all that's going on. A lot of major developments on that. Not really covering too much of the polls and everything now, but basically, the political realm, Joe said a comment about basically all the Trump supporters being garbage. And then, of course, Trump trolled him and played on with it, doing things with a dump truck and getting a dump truck with his name on it, saying, Trump 2024 and all that. So, honestly, pretty politically savvy. Trump's definitely got his game down much better than he did in 2020. So we're going to have to see. There's a lot of people. My brother contacted me. I have a brother. And he said, what do you think? I sent him some stuff that was all positive, but, it's just, we all know the potential, and I'll just leave it at that. So just basically be nimble, be ready. Had a video on PrepperNow today, basically saying the same thing. Prepare now, a guy made a comment that nothing ever happens. And, I was like, well, I don't know about you, but I don't really remember Israel and Iran chucking missiles at each other every few weeks. And Russia invading other countries and other stuff. Yes, it's happened before, but not like this one. So basically the gist of that one was careful what you wish for. Because just because it's not happening on your front lawn doesn't mean it's not going to happen and not affect you. So, a lot going on, folks. So, this is your crisis report. It is October 30th, 2024, the most comprehensive news on YouTube. We're getting, longer in the week, so this is when we start to get tired. So, I guess strap in. I guess we'll get started right now. Hit the like button, do all the engagement things, darken out the bell if you are new here, and we will get rolling, getting, more people coming on board. But, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. So we'll take you through all of it, as usual. Never a dull moment. There's definitely a lot of things to cover on these reports. So we try to cover as much as possible. So on that note, settle in, get yourself a drink, whatever, and get ready for a little open source intel that we will cover all completely and fully here. Here we go. All right. North Korea completes preparations. Deployment of an ICBM TEL launches likely in November, according to the military. Newly appointed Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem has been speaking today. South Korea's military intelligence agency told lawmakers Wednesday that North Korea has likely completed preparations for its seventh nuclear test and is close to test firing long-range missile capable of reaching the United States. Bitcoin close to a record $73,000. Cautious markets eye the United States election. Joe calls Trump supporters as only garbage I see floating out there. Dad of 11, Elon Musk, is buying a $35 million secret luxury compound for his children and two of their moms. Flooding has killed 51 in Spain's Valencia region. Rescuers are doing their best. More, I'm sure that toll will go up. Russia says it's captured a village in Ukraine's northeast. Migrant has died trying to cross the channel into Britain, according to French authorities. Iran says missile production has been unaffected by Israeli strikes. Oh, by the way, both sides said they're going to strike again here pretty soon. We'll get into that later. Firefighters in northwest England on Wednesday fought a significant fire at a weapons firm's nuclear submarine shipyard, because, those just randomly happen all the time. Trump says crucial swing state of Pennsylvania is not being all on the up and up. Yes, at an unprecedented level. A lot of people covered that today. We'll see. U.S. GDP growth misses expectations at 2.8% in third quarter. The economy is in a terrible state. Google has been fined a staggering $20 decillion. That is a 20 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 zeros behind it. Yeah. All the money in the world. More than all the money in the world. That's what they have been fined. I'm sure they won't pay it because, it's kind of a kangaroo court, as they say, or a vodka court. But, it's all because of the Google and YouTube suppressing Russian channels. So at least that's what they say. Texan42, always good to see you here, sir. Always great stuff. Thank you so much for becoming a MAG member. Yes, you too can become a MAG member like him and M.Ed and Gene and more. $2 a month. It keeps me coming on with all of this information, keeps the lights on, keeps Borg happy. If you know who Borg is, if you've been around, you know that that's one of our terms. But, actually, I'm trying to talk. I haven't gotten him on the horn. I've talked to Prepper Dog. I think I want to do a chat with Prepper Dog and potentially Roaming Prepper. I got to get Pete on here. I think his name is Pete. It might be Jimmy or Michael or who knows. I want to get Roaming Prepper and Prepper Dog on here, and possibly maybe it'll be on the main channel on PrepperNow, and do a video where we all kind of get together and do a round table of all this stuff, because both those guys, I've done live streams with them before, and they're the kind of people that I could talk for hours with, so on multiple things. So Dog and Roaming, if you are hearing, I text you in the background today. I think Dog's in. I just got to figure out a night. Just got to get Roaming Prepper on board as well, and I would love to have that happen. So we'll see what comes of it, but I'm putting it out there now to everybody else, so it hold my feet to the fire. Hezbollah leader says it will accept a ceasefire with Israel under conditions. This is where all the ceasefire talk started. First case of new Mpox strain has been detected in the United Kingdom. Harris seeks distance from Joe after his garbage comments. North Korea finishes unspecified preparations inside Pyongyang nuclear test site, according to Jan Happ. U.S. armed forces are preparing for a possible conflict with China. Military is practicing tactics, including those borrowed from observing the conflict in Ukraine, New York Times has written. Japan Chief Cabinet Secretary Hayashi. Possible that North Korea will take further provocative steps, such as a missile and satellite launches or nuclear test. Ukraine war. The Russian army has reportedly entered Kharkov, Donetsk Oblast. One after another, settlements in the oblast is being captured by Moscow. Situation gets even worse for Kiev to negotiate on their own conditions. We're going to have a update of all the little ins and outs, but it's not going well. The United States is conducting exercises in preparation for a potential war with China. North Korea completes preparations to launch Icbm, according to South Korea's Defense Intelligence Agency. Iran, strong fire in the city center of Mashhad, most eastern sector, causes under investigation. North Korea is on the brink of escalatory measures against South Korea and Japan. Footage of maneuverable hypersonic re-entry vehicles getting ready. In-flight maneuverability of the HGVs makes them unpredictable, allowing them to effectively evade air defense. China demands U.S. change Washington's stance on Taiwan, according to Reuters. Russia supplies Algeria with the latest model of the Iskander-M missile system. Russia wouldn't sell such weapons that have given the Russian army advantage in Ukraine if it has no interest in Africa. EU is stepping away from Africa and their geopolitics. Poland has requested U.S. permission to shoot down Russian missiles over Ukraine. Bipartisan leaders of the United States Helsinki Commission are calling on President Biden to greenlight NATO member ally Poland to extend its air defense in Ukraine's skies, helping shoot down Russian missiles under the guise of self-defense in a letter obtained exclusively by the Hill. Western media having published information that Kiev requested American Tomahawk missiles from Washington, they have revealed confidential information according to Zelensky. Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem says, "We are ready for a long war." He named it the Battle of the Brave. Hezbollah Secretary also said, "We say to those who bet on the post-war phase that you will be forced to curse Israel and America." Report by Taiwan Plus News. North Korean troops will be used by Russia at the Ukrainian front for covert operations and sabotage, as according to Anton Sokolin, correspondent with North Korean News, or NK News. UK detected its first case of Mpox variant Clade 1b. Country's health security agency said on Wednesday, according to Reuters. Kamala Harris's presidential campaign is reportedly manipulating social media platforms through a dedicated Discord server and hordes of volunteers. But there's a lot of fake hair color in that one. She also said, "I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for." When you call them deplorable, garbage, Yahtzees, maybe you should go with you're putting out a policy plan that doesn't fucking suck. Just kind of putting that out there, Maybe sell people on what you're going to do. Turn around inflation, or make it so millions and millions and millions and millions aren't taking the jobs away from young African-American men whose unemployment numbers are stretching into infinity. They're called policy plans. It's what we used to do. I'm from the 80s, pardon my French, but I'm from the 80s. I remember candidates going out and actually putting together what's known as a plan with policies that you can talk on a debate stage over. Not the other guy's a Yahtzee who wants to string your dog up and eat its nuts. Nothing like that, Because I don't really think it works anymore, but we'll see what happens on Tuesday. Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision has allowed Virginia to resume removing non-citizens from its voting rolls, lifting a provision or previous order that had paused the program. India become Europe's largest supplier of refined fuel, surpassing Saudi Arabia. India is buying massive amounts of crude oil from Russia and reselling it to Europe for higher prices. Russia provides Algeria with the latest model of the destructive Iskander missile system. Putin would not easily sell weapons that have given the Russians a huge advantage in Ukraine. This is the encirclement of Europe, such systems, and the creation of a powerful Russian ally in the North Africa. Another scary statistic from Germany. Number of state workers in Germany is going up, but with accelerating deindustrialization, unemployment rate is also going up and reached 6%. However, 6% does not include the 5.5 million long-term unemployed on welfare payments. True unemployment rate is around 18%. Yeah. I bet it's on par with America. United States Ambassador to Lebanon, Lisa Johnson, says they are preparing Lebanon for a CW and calls for uprising against Hezbollah. According to the Lebanese publication, Johnson insists that Israel will not achieve everything through war. Article says that the U.S. representative is already preparing the country for a post-Hezbollah era. It is for this reason that Macron is pushing massive arming of the Lebanese army, which is withdrawn from the south of the country. Zelensky is very upset and has blasted Joe's administration for leaking classified information to New York Times. Hold on. M.Ed, did you know that U.S. lab workers in Ukraine were given diplomatic immunity to travel back and forth? I did not, but that does not surprise me. Thank you so much. That's a nice little tidbit of information we got there. That's why you come to the crisis report and PrepperNow. I got the smart kids in this playground, you know. Yeah, the people that come around my parts are the ones that critically think and kind of, you know, maybe believe in a multiplicity of things and see the big picture, but it is what it is. Maddie, thanks for that comment. Excellent work. Previously, New York Times reported that Zelensky asked the Joe administration for Tomahawk long-range missiles, so he's all aggravated. So here we go. This is what's going on in the Ukrainian armed forces. I have another post coming, but this shows that the front in Kharkov direction has collapsed. Kharkov is a huge city. Russian armed forces are developing rapid success from all directions, taking the city of Kharkov in pincers. Perhaps in the coming hours, we will witness a mass flight of the Ukrainian armed forces from this direction for the first time since the beginning of the SMO. That's 2022. So, kind of getting their butts kicked in there. Fox News, Israeli F-35s reportedly dismantled Iran's entire S-300 air defense network in a recent strike. A senior U.S. official confirmed to Fox that Israeli warplanes wiped out Iran's last 3 Russian-made S-300 systems, leaving Iran's air defenses severely crippled. Earlier this year, Israel had already destroyed one of Iran's 4 S-300s after Iran's first ballistic missile attack. President Joe's Middle East advisor, Amos Hochstein, described Iran as now being essentially naked without any air defense. Israeli and U.S. officials have confirmed the destruction of key radar systems needed for Iran's missile guidance, effectively blocking Iran's capability to launch further ballistic missiles. Mustafa Ahmed Shahadi, deputy commander of Hezbollah's Radwan force, has been eliminated. IDF spokesman says the fighter jets of the Air Force attacked in the Nabatia area and killed Mustafa Ahmed Shahadi, who served as the deputy commander of the Radwan force and Hezbollah terrorist organization. Mustafa Ahmed Shahadi promoted terror against the state of Israel. The elimination constitutes another injury to the capabilities of the Radwan force of the Hezbollah organization to promote and carry out these operations against IDF forces and the Israeli rear on the southern border, and in particular, the plan to occupy the Galilee. In his previous positions, he was in charge of operations in Radwan during the fighting in Syria, 2012 to 2017, and in addition, he actually managed the unit's combat plans in southern Lebanon. Israeli and U.S. officials confirmed that crucial radar systems essential for guiding Iran's missiles were destroyed, effectively disabling Iran's ability to launch additional ballistic missiles. Across the border in Lebanon, Whole Village serves as a gathering place for terror before their operations. That's been blown up by the IDF. North Korea launches an alleged Icbm towards Japan. According to Japan's defense minister, the missile launched by the DPRK was an intercontinental missile. Its range was 1,000 kilometers and its altitude was 7,000 kilometers, largest ever launch. Flight time was 86 minutes, longest flight time ever. So that was tabulated at about 9:30, 9:45 Eastern Standard Time. So I didn't see any other channels put it out there, but Geopolitics Live, I won't tip you off who they are, but they're a major channel, and they know their stuff. So that's legit. Excuse me. According to Egyptian officials, Al Akbar Media, there is a direct communication with Hamas officials to reach decisive agreements during the upcoming negotiation session, which will involve the Egyptian intelligence chief, heads of the CIA and Mossad, and it's scheduled before U.S. presidential election on November 5th. Egyptian officials indicated that Israel's passing of multiple laws to ban the UNRWA is viewed by the negotiators and mediators as an attempt to gain more leverage on the negotiation. However, the Egyptian official assessment presented to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi suggested that Israel prefers to postpone any decision until after the U.S. elections. Iranian defense minister says that there has been no disruption in the missile production process, even after the Israeli strike. Shanghai police has started arresting people in customs dressed up for Halloween. Government mentioned that its festivity is classified as a reactionary and foreign celebration. So just think about that right there. Shanghai, if you go and wear costumes for Halloween, they're going to arrest you. You do not want to live in a Chinese world. Draft document, ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon has been released. KANN News has said Israel Hayom, citing a political source, says that the draft settlement regarding Lebanon that was leaked today is old and irrelevant and is part of what is being discussed. So this is where all this back and forth on the ceasefire thing starts to happen. From what I've read, I wouldn't get your hopes up. Israeli political source cites the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu does not believe in a written ceasefire agreement with Hezbollah. They further add that Netanyahu believes that it is better to physically remove Hezbollah, that's called war, from the border than to reach a written agreement with them on paper. So, no ceasefire. CNN report, Iran decided to respond to Israel's attack on Saturday. According to them, this will be a decisive and painful response and might even happen before the U.S. presidential elections. And Amir chimed in saying Israel is considering a preemptive strike on Iran. Very near future. So, everything's fine. Nothing ever happens, right? Nothing ever happens. It's all going to keep going the same way. Your beautiful little lives will be there to enjoy your Dancing with the Stars, your Coors Light, and your anesthetized lifestyle. Yeah. Don't worry, Sleepy McSleeperson. Everything's just going to be hunky-dory. Mommy's going to keep baby healthy and warm. Yep, to quote Pink Floyd. United States must grow the merchant marine force now before conflict begins, according to Naval Institute. Recent Houthi-led attacks on commercial shipping have again highlighted a reality of war at sea. Merchant mariners are on the same front line as their naval cousins, except without defensive weapon systems, extensive compartmentalization, and abundant manpower for damage control. Operation Prosperity Guardian, the multinational security initiative in the Red Sea, provides an excellent opportunity to consider what future awaits the U.S. Merchant Marine in contested waters. BRICS Summit has put focus on dethroning the U.S. dollar as Putin unveils the BRICS banknote. Vladimir Putin avidly discussed... Oh, who we got? Bad Bobber. Thanks so much for being around for so long. 14 months. That's awesome. Bad Vlad avidly discussed the potential of a new BRICS currency system during the Trade Coalition Summit this week in Kazan, Russia. He knows that the dollar's reserve status is America's strength, but also America's greatest weakness. Putin unveiled a symbolic BRICS banknote at the summit, suggesting that the plan to dump the dollar may be much closer to fruition than many economists expect. And, of course, we all know that there's nothing to worry about and that the meteoric rise of gold from 2,100 to 2,800 almost in a few short months is absolutely nothing to worry about. There's no problems in the repo market. There's no problems in the interest rate, or the fact that we're paying more interest on our debt than we paying off the interest, and not the principal. We're just paying the interest more than what our defense systems and defense budget gets. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about. Everything is just fine. Go back to sleep. 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 H5N1 bird flu has been identified in a pig in the United States for the first time. At least one Hezbollah drone has been flying for a quarter of an hour, and sirens are sounding in Haifa, Al-Qaryat, Acre, Nahariya, and dozens of settlements in northern Israel. Israel, high-speed combat UAV flying in the sky over Haifa area during an air raid alert. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin announced the U.S. intention to defend South Korea with all types of weapons, including nuclear weapons. Wonderful. IDF confirms launching airstrikes on Hezbollah fuel depots in northeastern Lebanon earlier today. In a statement, the IDF says the fuel sites were located within the Hezbollah military compounds belonging to the terror group's Unit 4400, which is tasked with delivering weapons from Iran and its proxies to Lebanon. These sites provide fuel for vehicles in the service of the terror organization and served as a significant means of operating its military infrastructure, according to the IDF. According to the military, the fuel at the depots has been provided by Iran, and Iran finances more than half of Hezbollah's budget via the IRGC's Quds Force, which transports oil and money through various routes to Lebanon. Iran will launch a powerful strike on Israel before the U.S. elections, according to CNN. Senior Iranian source told CNN today that Iran will launch a definitive and painful response to Israel's attack last week against military targets in the country, and that it will likely come before the November 5th U.S. presidential election. Everything's normal, folks. Go back to sleep. Have a Big Mac. Former MI6 officer says unknown air defense systems led the failure of Israeli attack on Iran. Alistair Crook, British diplomat, former MI6 officer, said that the Israeli planes, which were supposed to destroy the air defense systems with long-range missiles at the first stage, did not even come within 70 to 100 kilometers of the Iranian border. So what happened? Well, it seems that they were first captured by another missile defense system, became afraid to continue the operation, called off the attack, and launched their long-range missiles from afar. Nature breaks the tension in the Taiwan Strait. Typhoon Kong-Ray, I like that name, one of the most severe storms of 2024, is heading towards Taiwan 145 miles per hour, or 233 kilometers. Taiwan issued a land warning on Wednesday over most of the island, according to the Central Weather Administration. South Korea is not considering the direct provision of 155mm artillery shells to Ukraine, despite earlier speculation, Yonhap reports. South Korea's presidential office confirmed that the country will not directly supply 155mm artillery shells to Ukraine. And the latest in the SMO of Russia versus Ukraine. In the southern part of Donetsk, stabilization of the front line is still a long way off. Russian units continue to break through to the north and capture further positions. Geolocated images at the eastern entrance to the town of Kharkov now also show the presence of the Russians. Further north, the Russians are now in the center of Kharkiv, an important Ukrainian supply route captured during the attacks. Fall of the city is probably imminent due to the difficult tactical situation of the Ukrainians. Activity also increases again in the direction of Kupiansk, and the Russians are able to capture the first village on the Oskil River. Further attacks are said to have taken place in the south. Using Russian funds in exchange for loans, Kiev has transferred its defense industry to the EU. European Union wants to use a planned 35 billion euro loan for Ukraine, repayment of which should be made from income from frozen Russian assets in the EU to gain control over the Ukrainian defense industry. As a result, Ukraine's defense industry has become Russian. I don't know what they mean by that. U.S. intelligence officials now believe that a North Korean Icbm launch of nuclear test is imminent before the U.S. presidential election. I think it's already happened. Fire engulfs British defense company BAE Systems facility where nuclear submarines are made. And a Chinese foreign exchange student has been charged with multiple crimes for illegally voting in Michigan on Sunday. Despite not being a U.S. citizen, his ballot will still count because, quotes, election officials have no way to retrieve it. Yep. Elon Musk summoned to a court over a $1 million giveaways to registered voters, and we're going to leave it there. That's Crash Report, October 30th, 2024. Yes, folks, nothing ever happens. So, as you can see, all this is par for the course. So, yep, just sit back and sleep. Or you can engage and come here nightly for the Crisis Report, where you are wide awake and able to figure out what the heck's going on due to all the stuff I put out there. So you can hit me up on Substack, PrepperNow.substack.com, if you like a transcript of all this, or you want to maybe follow the links, like this one right here. Yep, that will link you someplace, and you can go and follow the rabbit hole, wherever it may be. Why? Because you're smart. It's free if you want it to be, or if you want to give me a little something for the effort, you can. Local Subscribe Star going well. A few dollars a month for those if you want, like, free flow of information. Posted a bunch of stuff to them today. Yep, need to get back onto Twitter, X, Truth, Minds, and Gab, where I have a presence as well. Put some stuff out there. Oh, and to the person that was following me on ODYSEE and said that the thing was unsynced, I contacted them. They have fixed the problem, but the problem is that a certain decillion owing company, supposedly they're getting rid of downloads. So we'll see. Not yet, though. So like they said to me, we'll keep doing it as far as we can, long as we can. So we will keep doing the Crisis Report. Friends, hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell, and come on back for more. Tomorrow night, kids will be all sugared up. They'll probably be counting the candy and stuff. I know. We shouldn't do that. We should just be, whatever. It is what it is. They're kids. All right. God bless, friends. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep your head in the swivel when you powder dry. And I appreciate you coming by. Crisis Report by PrepperNow. We will see you on the next one.